Hi friends, welcome to Beautifully Bookish Bethany. So if you haven't already heard, because I'm planning to put up an announcement video before this video goes live, I am starting a 3-month full-time internship in book marketing and publicity, which I am so thrilled to be doing. I'm going to be working at Crooked Lane Books and Alcove Press for the next 3 months. My goal is to work in publishing long-term, and this is hopefully the first step in that process. It has been a long time coming, but as of the day that I'm filming this, I start in a week, and I want to see how many books I can get off my TBR in the next week before I start a 40-hour-a-week job. On top of which, my 38th birthday is at the end of my first week of work, so I want to do some fun celebratory things during this week. I have some exciting things planned, and I thought I would go ahead and put all of that into this video as well. So this is both a celebrate my birthday slightly early, celebrate the fact that I finally have a job that will hopefully get me into the career that I want long term, and challenge myself to see how many books I can knock off of my review TBR before I start working full time. Some things that are on the docket. Tomorrow I'm going to see the movie Sinners, because everybody's been talking about it. I love a good vampire story. It's got some really great actors. I'm super excited, so I'm going to be doing that during the daytime. And then Friday, I am meeting up with some friends. We're going to hang out for the day, do some fun things, and go to a Broadway show at night. So I will take you along for some of that as well. In terms of the books that I'm trying to get through, let's talk about what I'm currently reading, because as always, I'm in the middle of several things. Let's get into it. Physically, I'm reading Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. I am about halfway through this book. It is chunky and not necessarily a quick read, but I am enjoying it, so I want to finish this. This comes out in August, and it follows 2 graduate students on a journey to hell to try to save their professor's soul. And so far, I'm really into it, doing a lot of interesting things, and I'm thinking I may try to make a standalone book review video about this if I can finish it in a timely manner. So Catabasis is the physical book. In terms of audio, I have been alternating between a kind of chunky fantasy that I also have a physical copy of, and then lighter romances. So I'm about to finish one of those romances on audio, but the chunky fantasy is The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. I am loving this book, by the way. It's really good. I'm a little more than halfway through it. It's got lots of court politics and intrigue, academia elements. It's a debut fantasy and it's pretty impressive. I'm really a fan, so I'm reading that. I want to finish that. And then the audiobook that I'm about to finish is Love in Focus by Lila Lee. This is her adult romance debut, and it's so good, y'all. It's a contemporary sapphic romance about exes from college getting back together like 10 years later. It's really good. It's set in San Francisco. It's also got found family elements. Both of them are Korean, so it's got a lot of really interesting sort of cultural and family elements woven into it, and what it's like to be queer growing up as a Korean. And did I say it's steamy? It's pretty steamy. I am really enjoying this a lot, and I'm almost done with it. So I'm going to be finishing that up. That's what's happening in terms of audiobooks. On ebook, I am in the middle of 2 things. I am reading The Potency of Ungovernable Impulses by Malka Older, 36% of the way into. It's, I would say, a short novel. Some of the other ones have been novellas. This one I think is a little longer, but it is the latest installment in the Mossy and Pleiades series, which is a sci-fi sapphic mystery series set on a colony on Jupiter. 2 women who have kind of a Holmes-Watson dynamic. So far, I'm really liking it. This is another one where it's not a quick read necessarily, just because of the style of the writing, but I still really enjoy it, so that's been fun. And then the other thing that I just started is a book that I ended up DNFing, so I'm not going to talk about it here, but you know what? I am counting it as something that got off my TBR. So what is that? Currently I'm in the middle of 5 books in different formats. What is my goal? I would love, I don't know, maybe this is too much because I do have a lot going on, but it would be amazing if I could knock 10 books off my TBR for review before I start this new job. So can I do it? That's going to be the goal. 10 books. If I finish the 5 that I'm currently reading, I'll be halfway there, which is not too bad. Wish me luck, and I will check back in once I've made some progress and finished something. Good morning. So yesterday I finished this book. I really enjoyed it. It's a really great second chance romance. I was near the end of it. I haven't finished anything else yet, but I have made progress. So I'm gonna put on some headphones and listen to The Raven Scholar while I walk off to grab lunch before I go see Sinners. It's gonna be a fun day. Okay, so Sinners was incredible. I 100% see why people are raving about it. I won't spoil it, but if you go see it, make sure you stay for the post-credit scene because it's important for the movie. I saw some people walk out of our theater before and they definitely missed out. I'm glad I stayed. It's phenomenal. It starts out being paced like a period piece, like a historical drama, and then turns into a vampire movie, and it's so good. Oh my god. Definitely recommend going and seeing it. I have a lot of thoughts, but I feel like plenty of other people are already talking about this movie. I will just say it was great. The acting was amazing. Also, I didn't realize Michael B. Jordan plays twins. I haven't seen that in a while. Y'all, it's so good. It's so good. Definitely go see it. I have not finished any more books, but I only have about an hour left in the audiobook of The Raven Scholar. It is twisty as hell, you guys. So many things are happening. I don't know how it's going to end, and it's the start of a series, so I'm expecting wild things in the last hour of it. So I will check back in once I finish that. But it's 4:20. Got a little bit of time before I got to go pick up my kids. Am I going to finish 10 books this week? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. And I just heard back for an interview for another internship that starts in the fall. So it's a good week. It's a really great week. Good morning. I spent last night in the emergency room with one of my kids. I mean, I won't go into the details. They're fine. Everybody's fine. Everybody was fine now. It was just a very long night for me. But I got reading done while I was there. So I finished reading this book. It was great. It's a short novel. I think I mentioned what it's about. I feel like it's the kind of thing that is not going to be for everybody. The way that she writes definitely has a more academic vibe to it. The books sort of mix English with words from other languages like Spanish or Chinese, sometimes mostly Spanish, I think. It's, I think, kind of cool because to me it makes sense that you would get kind of this smattering of languages as you get these like integrated communities. I think it's really interesting from a world building perspective. But you sort of have to be like either familiar enough with languages or okay with looking stuff up or like getting the point in context, if that makes sense, which I know is not everybody's cup of tea, but I love it. I think it's so smart. And I think especially given the fact that the main character whose perspective we're seeing through is an academic, I just think it works. So yeah, you get like some dealing with mental health issues and conflict with the relationship between Masa and Pleady, but then also investigating this new mystery. And it was great. I really liked it a lot. Definitely would recommend. I am almost done with The Raven Scholar. I have just like a tiny bit left, so I'll finish that up this morning while I'm making breakfast. And then I will talk about that, but it's been really good, y'all. It's like such a good book. I think it's going to be favorite of the year status for me, which is amazing. All right, I'm going to go make breakfast. I'm going to finish The Raven Scholar, probably start another audiobook. I will check back in with y'all. Hello, it is Friday. I haven't filmed anything in a minute because, you know, there's something about being in my late 30s and staying up way later than I normally do that takes me a couple of days to recover from. I was so tired yesterday, y'all. I have been doing some reading, so I'm going to tell you what I've been reading, how it's been going, but yeah, I've got to say, being up till like 3:30 in the morning that night did a number on me. So I finished The Raven Scholar. It is in fact going to be a favorite book of the year. I freaking loved it. And what's interesting is I didn't know, because I kept saying, oh, it's a debut. Well, it's a fantasy debut, but this author has written mysteries before, and it shows the level of twist to the murder mystery that's integrated here, along with the political trials and everything, is so masterful. I loved this. I definitely would recommend it, and we'll keep reading it. I also read and loved The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. Y'all, this book was for me. I feel like it's sort of a different twist on a dark academia fantasy from the perspective of a teacher at a boarding school, which I've never read before. Usually you get the perspective of the students, but it was something so different to have a teacher who's around the same age as I am. So like a bisexual woman in her late 30s, she's single, she cares a lot about her students, and there's danger from demonic encroachments and also teenage students making dumb decisions because they're teenagers. It's really funny. I feel like this was definitely written for millennials. There's a lot of like millennial, maybe even Gen X humor in it, which is interesting, and references to real life technology. What I think is cool about it is it's set in the real world, but demons like technology, so like students aren't allowed to have cell phones usually in school because demons are attracted to them and might like incur into the real world. It's just a kind of a different setup. It is a standalone with a satisfying conclusion. It's got a sapphic element to it. It's got some twists that I was a little bit surprised by. I just thought this was really good. I definitely would recommend it. Other things I'm currently reading that I may finish before my time is up. I feel pretty good about how we're going because I've gotten 5 books off my review TBR, 4 that I finished, 1 that I decided not to continue with, so I feel pretty great about that. Then I talk about another book that I ended up deciding to DNF, so we're not going to talk about it here, but it is yet another book coming off my TBR. I'm also listening to Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan, which almost had me crying while I was doing my makeup this morning. I'm like, tell me why I thought listening to a Kennedy Ryan romance was a great idea when I was trying to do my makeup. It's a contemporary romance, but it's got a heroine who is dealing with caring for her mom who has dementia, and it's rough. That's rough. So like heads up for anybody reading it. It's good. It's a great romance, and there's sort of a forbidden love with a guy she's attracted to that she shouldn't date because of a client that she has, and so far it's really good. Great. I have also started a novella, Volatile Memory by Seth Haddon, I want to say, and it's really interesting. It starts off in second person, and I was like, huh, this is an interesting choice, and then like fairly quickly you realize why it's in second person, but it's a futuristic sci-fi novel, and it's got a main character who is a trans woman and is in these sort of like dangerous situations, and there's these masks that people fight over that give you almost superhuman abilities. It's interesting, so I'm reading that. That one comes out in July. I have not made any more progress on Catabasis. I really need to sit down and read it. I feel like my brain has been too slow to do physical reading of that nature because I feel like I have to be awake, and I've been so tired the last couple days. I was like, I can't read Catabasis right now, but I'm feeling more myself, so hopefully I can make some progress on that this weekend, and we'll see how this goes. I've knocked 5 books off so far. We'll see how many more I can get through before I start work on Tuesday, but it is Friday, and pretty soon I'm leaving to go meet up with some friends. So we're gonna hang out for the day. Tonight we're going to see a Broadway show, which is very exciting, so lots of fun things to come. I will check back in later. Alexa, I'm so tall. Good morning. It is Monday and I start work tomorrow. So I wanted to do a little bit of an update about where we're at currently. And then I'm going to go and do a little bit of birthday shopping. I don't have a ton of time because I went to the gym this morning and I have to go pick up my kids in the afternoon. So, it's not quite what I was expecting, but it's fine. I have finished 2 books since we last spoke. I finished reading Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan, which was phenomenal. So good. Definitely emotionally intense at times, which is usually the case with her books. This one is because the heroine is dealing with caring for her mother who has dementia. And so it's a lot of that kind of thing. So content warning for that, because I know I have friends who are dealing with this in real life and maybe don't want to read it in their romances. Fair. But I will say it isn't most of the story. There are several very emotional scenes involving that, but a lot of it is this romance she develops with this kind of high profile Black businessman who she really should stay away from because he's the ex of one of her clients and she's an agent, but they just can't keep apart. And it is very steamy, y'all. Like, whew, very steamy. And sometimes in non-traditional locations, like the coat room at a party, for instance. So really, really good. Definitely would recommend it. Why am I surprised? It's Kennedy Ryan. She's great. I also just finished The Starving Saints by Caitlin Starling. This is really interesting. It's a queer medieval horror novel. I will tell you, it takes a while to get going. So there were moments where I was like, okay, when is something gonna happen? But then once it does get going, it is weird and creepy and kind of smart in what it ends up doing. I won't spoil it for you, but I will tell you it involves cannibalism, so just heads up about that. It's set in a medieval castle under siege, and these strangers who appear to be saints come to maybe save them from starving, but are they really? And we're following 3 women's perspectives. One of them's a nun and miracle worker, one of them's a knight. And it gets really weird, kind of fever dream-like, creepy, strange horror elements to it. And eventually I figured out what she's doing with this book, and I was like, okay, that's clever. It's an interesting approach to something that I haven't seen done in quite this way before. On the back it says, "The castle descends into bacchanalian madness." Yeah. Fair. Atmospheric fever dream of medieval horror. It is not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but if that sounds up your alley, maybe go check it out. Just do be aware that you need to give it a little time to get going. So if you're feeling like, okay, I'm not feeling the bacchanalian horror yet, just like give it a minute. It'll get there, I promise. And the ending is really good. So those are the 2 books I finished. So that puts me at a total of 8 books off my TBR, 2 of which were DNF'd, 6 that I've read in the last week, which I'm feeling pretty good about. Will I finish something else before the end of the day? Very possibly. I'm going to try to, so I will check back in later. But for now, let's go pick up some birthday goodies. Sephora does a free birthday gift, which is really fun, so I'm going to get that. And then I have a discount from DSW for shoes, and I could really use another pair of work-appropriate shoes. So I should tell you, because of course I'm listening to another audiobook. I've started Not Safe for Work by Nisha J. Tooley, which is her first contemporary adult romance. It's a workplace romance. I'm not very far in yet, so I don't really have anything to say about it, but I will be listening to that while I head out. Let's head out and do some shopping. It is Monday night and I finished 1 other book before the end of the day. That puts me at 9 books off my review TBR, which I think is pretty phenomenal. I ended up finishing Volatile Memory by Seth Haddon, which is a kind of longer novella. It's this really interesting sci-fi story with a trans main character, and it's written in second person, which is kind of interesting, but I think it works, like, once I got into the story. Oh, tired. I need to go to bed soon, but it's about this trans woman who is a scavenger, and she's trying to get this mask. There's these masks with tech built into them that give abilities to the people that have them, and she finds one that is unheard of, and a lot of things change. It's really interesting in terms of the way it's exploring what it means to be human, sentience, embodiment, trans identity. It's also got a side of revenge on behalf of abused women, which we love. I did get like 18% of the way into Not Safe for Work, and I think it's going to be really fun. I did not finish it yet, but I will continue on with it. Like I said, it's a workplace romance. The main character is a woman who's an engineer, and she's been passed over the years by her firm. And finally, because I think they maybe got in trouble and realized that, like, oh, we're not doing great in the like diversity department with women and minorities, they pick her and her hot rival at work, who is also the boss's son, to go on a leadership retreat in Hawaii for a week together. And also, they end up in a suite together accidentally. I think it's gonna be a good time. So far, I'm liking it. But overall, I will say it's been a pretty great reading week. There's been a lot going on, but I was able to get 9 books off my TBR, which I will take that as a win. Hopefully this was fun. Thanks for coming along with me, and wish me luck with my new job. I am so excited to be starting this internship. If you didn't hear, I will link my announcement video up above with all of the information, but I think it's gonna be great. So let me know any of your thoughts. If you reached this point in the video, leave me some kind of a book emoji. I'm trying to read down my TBR stack. And feel free to let me know your thoughts on any of the books I talked about, or any of these books that you're interested in reading, books you think you might pick up. Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, it always helps if you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.